Welcome to This Explainer. If you've ever hit the end of the day and thought, wait, where did all my time just go? Well, you are in exactly the right place. Today, we're going to unpack a truly brilliant framework for transforming daily chaos into actual personal freedom. And we're going to explore this through the incredibly relatable story of a 10-year-old kid named Leo. By the end of this explainer, you're going to see exactly how making a few surprisingly simple, structured choices can completely revolutionize your own daily routine, no matter how old you are or what you do for a living.
So where do your missing minutes go? It's something we literally all struggle with, right? Let me introduce you to Leo. Every single evening, Leo felt overwhelmingly rushed. He was constantly scrambling around, hunting for his shoes right before bedtime, and just stressing over how incredibly fast the night was flying by. Does that frantic, racing feeling sound familiar? I mean, we've all been there, feeling like the clock is a treadmill that we just can't quite keep up with. But Leo's story is about to take a sharp turn.
Okay, let's dive into this first section, the missing minutes mystery.
One sunny afternoon, Leo's grandfather noticed this constant state of panic. To help solve this little mystery, he handed Leo a ticking pocket watch and a tiny notebook, telling him, "Time is a puzzle, not a monster." Now, to really understand the stakes of this puzzle, let's look at who Leo is. He's a master Lego city builder. He's a voracious comic book reader. He's got all these passions and projects he desperately wants to do. But his universal pain point was that homework always took too long, leaving him absolutely zero time for the fun stuff. It's like a perfect microcosm of our own lives, right? We have all these hobbies and goals, but the daily grind seemingly eats up all the time we need to actually do them.
So, Leo grabbed that tiny notebook and did some serious morning detective work. The results? They are both hilarious and completely eye-opening. Look at this breakdown. Out of a single morning, 20 precious minutes just vanished into thin air. 12 whole minutes were spent literally staring out the window, waiting for the inspiration just to brush his teeth. And another 8 minutes? Well, those were wasted hunting for his math textbook under a pile of laundry. It's funny, sure, but honestly, it's exactly how we all lose time. Mindless scrolling, searching for misplaced keys, just letting the clock run while we zone out.
Once they actually identified those leaks, it was time to fix the plumbing. Let's look at Section 2, Building the Timekeeper's Toolkit.
That evening at the kitchen table, Leo and his grandfather mapped out a better plan. And they didn't rely on some complicated app or a magic trick. They relied on a really simple visual strategy. It started with the colorful weekly calendar, so Leo could finally see the actual shape of his week. From there, their very first physical strategy was establishing what they called the launch pad. This is simply a designated wooden basket right by the front door. Every single night, his shoes, his keys, and his backpack went straight into this basket. It created a physical home for his essentials. By pairing this space with a quick school bag checklist, Leo ensured he was fully packed. His items never went missing again, which instantly reclaimed those 8 frustrating minutes he used to spend hunting for textbooks.
Now, what's really interesting about this next point is the sheer simplicity of this constraint, 180 seconds. You see, cleaning up used to be this chore that dragged on for an agonizing hour for Leo, but he invented something he called the 3-minute tornado. He grabbed a basic kitchen timer, set it for exactly 180 seconds, put on his favorite upbeat marching song, and just raced the clock to put his blocks and books away. By gamifying the task with a strict, tiny time limit, he transformed a totally boring chore into a high-speed game. He actually finished with time to spare. It just goes to show that a task often expands to fill whatever time we give it.
Homework was the next beast they had to tackle. A quick worksheet used to turn into a 2-hour ordeal because Leo would react to every little sound in the house. So his grandfather introduced an absolute game changer. Focus blocks. Step 1. Put the phone in a completely different room to totally sever the temptation. Step 2. Commit to just 20 minutes of intense, distraction-free work. Step 3. Reward yourself with a 5-minute stretch break. Once Leo applied this, he literally zoomed through his reading assignments faster and sharper than he ever had before.
Moving right along to Section 3, the night before strategy.
So they fixed the afternoon, but mornings were still a big weak spot. Leo's grandfather taught him that to win the morning, you actually have to start the night before. And this comparison brilliantly illustrates that transformation. Before, you'd see Leo's old reality, this frantic morning chaos that felt like a stressful marathon before the day even got started. But check out the new reality, a calm, relaxed start where that heavy morning stress is completely eradicated.
This isn't just about saving time, it's about shifting the entire emotional tone of your day from reactive panic to proactive peace. And how exactly did he pull this off? With a simple, totally non-negotiable routine called the night before checklist. He laid out his clothes, he packed his lunchbox, and he double-checked his homework folder. He did this every single night without fail before his head hit the pillow. It takes maybe 5 minutes in the evening, but it buys you absolute peace of mind the next morning. Your future self will always, always thank your past self for doing the heavy lifting while you still had the energy.
Let's move to and see how this all builds into our final section, the free time vault.
This right here is where all the hard work pays off. All these little tweaks, the launch pad, the 180-second tornado, the focus blocks, the evening checklist, they aren't just about being a busy little worker bee. They are about building up a reserve of time that is entirely yours to spend however you want. By organizing his tasks and ruthlessly eliminating distractions, Leo suddenly discovered he had built this safe free time vault. He unlocked 1 whole hour of completely open, unstructured afternoon time every single day. No rushing, no lingering guilt about unfinished chores. He used this deeply protected time to sketch his comic books, practice riding his bike, and just be a kid playing outside with his friends.
The amazing beauty of building systems like this is that they naturally spill over into every other area of your life. Check out this ripple effect at school. His teacher actually started praising him for his organization during group projects. He naturally started breaking large, scary assignments into manageable chunks, which meant he never felt overwhelmed by deadlines anymore. He became such a model of calm efficiency that his classmates, other 10-year-olds, actually started asking him what his secret was.
Leo was so incredibly excited by this transformation that he actually hosted a workshop at his local community center for the other kids. He brought his color-coded calendars, he brought his trusty kitchen timer, and he shared one core message. Time management isn't strict or boring. It is a practical tool that gives you freedom. You know, we often think of discipline as a cage, but Leo proved that structure is exactly what sets you free to do the things you truly love doing.
Which brings us right back full circle to his grandfather's initial wise words. Time isn't something you chase. It's a puzzle. Leo didn't magically find more hours in the day, right? The clock didn't expand. He just figured out the puzzle. He realized the true power wasn't in the pocket watch itself, but in his own choices, his willingness to plan ahead, and his commitment to those routines. He became the proud captain of his own schedule. I really want to leave you with this final thought today. What will you do with your own free time vault? If you implement a launch pad, if you try a 3-minute tornado, and if you start prepping the night before, you are absolutely going to reclaim lost hours. The only question left is how you'll spend that hard-earned freedom. Take control of your schedule today, solve the puzzle, and start enjoying those minutes you've been missing. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and hey, happy planning.